Welcome back. We're live with another episode of the Two Count Kickout Podcast, episode 12. And we're down a member today. Tay had something come up. So we hope all goes well with that. And hopefully he'll be good to go back with us next week for Bad Blood predictions. But as they say in show business, the show must go on.
Yep.
So we're back here. We're your hosts. I'm BJ with my boy.
Damn. You are
As usual.
hit my
That sound like
my
it hurt. That sound like it hurt. Well, after Cam gets his hand together, we'll jump into the show.
I'm ready.
Way to start with the bang.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. So hopefully Tay best goes out to him and everything. Hopefully everything works out with what he's got going on, and we'll see him next week.
Yep.
Yeah. So one thing I want to jump into, there's a couple things, but I want last night on Smackdown, there was a phrase that was said that Kevin Owens had never beat or pinned anyone in the bloodline. And I was like, no. That's
No. That's not true at all.
That's not true whatsoever. He's actually pinned members of the bloodline multiple times. So that kind of,
he's beaten the tribal chief before.
Yeah, literally. So I was like, that who's feeding this man this information?
Right.
They need to be fact checked. But that's one thing that bothered me a little bit. Yeah, I was like, I specifically remember him, like, especially the tag match he did with Cena. Like, he pinned Sami Zayn. So that was the first. Yeah, that was the first one that came to mind. I know he's pinned Jay a couple of times. And Jimmy too, if I'm not mistaken.
He's beaten him. He's pinned him before.
Yeah.
And he's even pinned, the top, unless they're talking about the new bloodline, which
they gotta specify. There's two versions of the bloodline now. So I just thought that was funny. I was like, we can't make these mistakes anymore. We can't say.
Why are we like, especially with Kevin Owens being like the continuity guy?
Yeah.
Like he's like, so like, yeah, you can't just say that and like Kevin's like, oh yeah, let me just go along with it. Like, no, Kevin, you were there.
Yeah. And I think it would be funny to go with KO's character if, like, next week he goes up to the commentator table and he's like, I have pinned members of the bloodline multiple times. Go watch the film or something like that.
Right. I pulled up receipts.
Yeah, that would just go with his character so well. But the plot is thickening between him, Randy, and Cody. So it's clear that we'll probably get the KO turn first.
Yeah.
And then Randy probably soon after that.
I could see it even being a swerve where Randy is like him being the mediator. He's just sick of it. And he's trying to push Kevin off of Cody or vice versa, and then he just RKO's Cody. I could see it I could see it even not being Kevin, but like seeing it be Randy.
Yeah, I agree. We know Randy's track record. That's definitely not out of the realm of possibility. So I don't count anything out. It's very interesting the dynamic they have going right now. So I'm excited to see where that goes. We had another version of Bloodline versus KO Randy.
As I saw that, I was like, well, I already know the ending.
Yeah. So, same song and dance for SmackDown this week, pretty much.
Yeah. Are you excited for the water match?
Yeah, that's gonna be fire. Do you think the titles are gonna change hands? I think that's why they set it up like this.
Because it protects the bloodline without them having to take a loss. I hope the Street Profits win it because they definitely deserve it.
Yeah, they do.
It's been since 2021 that they held tag titles, so they're long overdue for it.
Oh yeah. I'm rooting for the Street Profits too. And I think that this is the way that they take the titles off of the bloodline.
Yeah.
They have bigger things going, with Survivor Series coming up soon. So they're, of course, before Survivor Series, if they'll definitely lose the titles before then, if not next week. So I think it's the right call. They're setting it up for a big payoff at Survivor Series. And Roman's gonna eventually feud with probably each individual member of the bloodline a little bit. So we'll see. We'll see. Man, I said this in our group chat too. I love Chelsea Green, man. Like anytime she's on my screen, like it's guaranteed to be an entertaining segment or just whatever they give her. She makes it work. So I hope one day they give her flowers as far as a women's championship reign.
That's
So
why I want her to win Money in the Bank
I
because
did too.
I mean I'm not upset about Tiffany at all, but like
No,
what if Chelsea won it, you have that comedic effect that what if she did lose it, like lose the match, the cash in. Then she's
yeah,
like trying to overreact and I want to speak to your manager and blah blah blah. So they
yeah,
could have Tiffany deserves it, but like if something happened, it should have gone to Chelsea because what you could book around that is
yeah.
comedic gold.
It's gold, man. There was so much that they could have hit. They if she would have won Money in the Bank, she would have been one of the top briefcase holders because she would have made it so entertaining. And you just never know what would have happened. And then the looming thought that this woman could become our champion at some point. That's always something to think about. So I love Chelsea Green, man. I just hope they give her flowers one day. So yeah, anything else of note? I mean, we got Game 7 of Andrade and Melo. Are they doing it next week or on SmackDown?
I
Or
think so
okay,
because it's not gonna be on Bad Blood. We've already
yeah, we broke that down. Yeah, it will. They don't like more than 6 matches on a card nowadays. So
no.
no, it'll probably happen next week. But that after hopefully Melo goes over, gets to challenge LA Knight.
Or we could even get a triple threat match.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's what it's looking like after the events on SmackDown. So we'll see. LA Knight and Andrade still have this awkward relationship. I don't. It's off the basis of respect. I don't know that handshake fist bump thing last week was weird.
It
It's
was. It's
very cringy. Um, yeah. So
he's one of those like faces that like he's more of like an anti-hero face, LA Knight, where he's just like he's like people will cheer for him, but he's like, I'll mess you up if you're a good guy or a bad guy.
hmm yeah, the edgier baby face type with a little more grit, and that's yeah. So yeah, anything else noteworthy that happened on SmackDown that you can think of?
I mean, we got a dumpster match coming up.
Oh yeah, that is coming up. I'm excited for that, mainly because Chelsea Green is involved, but because I know it's gonna be hilarious. Um,
How
yeah,
do you feel
man.
about Naomi's booking?
I feel like it's just the same thing over and over, man. Like now we're gonna get her and Tiffany, which they've done that match before.
Yeah.
Of course, Tiffany's gonna lose because that's how they've always booked the briefcase holder to lose pretty much every match until they cash in. Um, I wanted her to go over Bailey. I get why it makes sense for Bailey to go over. I feel like Naomi's gonna turn soon.
Yeah.
Writings on the wall there. They're being too friendly. So it's clear Naomi's gonna turn pretty soon. When is the question? I don't know.
And I feel like the worst thing that WWE, like, not the worst thing because they've done a lot of bad things, but like storyline wise, one of the worst things they've done is get rid of like the rematch clauses and for title matches because it's like if somebody gets their rematch, like they have to earn it. That's cool, but it's just like we already know 99% of the time that they're gonna get their rematch and that the previous champion's gonna lose. So it's just like, just go ahead, keep the rematch clause in there, and then we can just knock out that middleman instead of like, oh, who might win? It's like we already know who's gonna win this match.
Yeah, I miss the rematch clauses. Like like that feeling, like after a big pay-per-view or
Mhm.
whoever comes out on top, like for example, John Cena and JBL, like we wouldn't have got the Judgment Day match
Right.
if I Quit match if the rematch clause didn't exist. I can't think of, but there's plenty of other examples.
Batista and Triple H, all
Yeah, all
three of
their
them.
matches. Yeah, exactly. So that I like continuing feuds, especially if you have a champion that's held the title for a long time.
Mhm.
It makes sense. I'm gonna want my championship back. So
Or even if you do it the next night, like on Raw or SmackDown, because
yeah,
that's what happened, and that led to Randy Orton getting kicked out of Evolution.
yep,
That
yep.
so it's just I wish they would bring it back. I know they're kind of going for a more like realistic approach, but we could keep some.
But the rematch clause makes more sense than a random just coming down and saying, "Hey, give me a title shot."
Right.
Okay, like that's not how that works. Especially if like it's a babyface champion and a heel comes out and says, "Hey, I got next." Like
Right.
no, like you, um,
Like,
I will.
oh, sorry. I was
No,
just
you're
there.
good. Go
There
ahead.
are some cases where like a rematch clause just doesn't really make sense. Like immediately, like when Cena beat Rock at Mania, like
Mm,
that didn't make sense because we already know Rock's not coming to Extreme Rules in St. Louis.
right.
It would have been
Yes.
cool, but
Yeah, it would have been very cool, but yeah, no, that you're right. That wouldn't have made any type of sense. So
right.
yeah, it's a hit or miss. I do miss the rematch clauses though,
Yeah.
because yeah, a lot of times, the person who lost the championship, it has a reason to want his title back. So um yeah. So yeah, I guess nothing really other noteworthy of. Oh, AJ's coming back next week. I'm excited about
So
that.
excited.
Yeah.
Now, can we get Shinsuke back too?
No, he's stuck in catering, man.
Please bring Shinsuke Nakamura back. That's my guy.
That is
Bring
my guy.
bring him back with the theme song with the lyrics too, so he can just go crazy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yes. Shinsuke needs to be back on WWE television. And who else needs to be back on WWE television is Asuka.
Yes.
Um I saw their posts telling her happy birthday side by side to Damian Priest.
Yes.
And they listed all of his accolades and just said happy birthday, Asuka.
It's like
If
what?
I'm Asuka, I'm like, I probably carried like majority of the women's division,
Exactly.
like post pandemic, like going into, this current era we're in now. Like, yeah, no, that
Like looking at everything Asuka's done too. Like
exactly.
first for the first ever women's Royal Rumble winner. Like
Hmm.
it doesn't get bigger than that. Like they just hating on Asuka, and I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't either. It's very annoying. So, needless to say, Asuka, please come back and show everybody why we're feeling this way. Because, yeah, it's funny. I was watching Raw, but I stepped out of the room
Hmm.
and was helping my daughter with something, and then I hear it was Io talking, but to Bianca and Jade,
Hmm.
but I was like, "Is that Asuka?" And I yelled to my wife, "I'm like, is that Asuka?" She's like,
Yeah.
I don't think so." Uh, and I just ran in here and I saw it was Io. No offense, Io, but
Right.
I was I was disappointed. I was like, dang, I thought it was Asuka. So yeah, I need her back on my television screen soon. And she needs to inject some life into this women's division, man. It's very bland right now.
It's damage control, damage control. Hey, Jade and Bianca are here. Um, damage control, PFC. Um,
Oh god.
I don't know what this is. I don't. What does this mean? What
Are they they're shooting the canvas, I guess, in
I
that moment. And I don't know why they're doing that, but you know.
Okay, cool. What does that got to
They,
do with fusions?
yeah, exactly. And we still have got no explanation to anything. Or have we? Did I miss something? Like,
They're just
yeah,
angry opportunities.
they're just angry.
They're just real.
Maybe because they know Zoe's mid and they're like, they,
Why? Why are
maybe
y'all
that's why
so
they're
angry?
angry. I get why Shayna would be angry. They booked
Yes.
her horribly for the past
Like,
3 years.
in the past, I wouldn't have wanted her to like beat Becky at Mania that year. Then again, I hate that chamber in general because
She
and
just ran through everybody.
I do and I've already stated so many times I hate chambers like that.
Yeah.
Because it's a waste. Like, yeah, her and Asuka had a decent fight, but I mean, they could have had, Asuka take out Riot Squad, or they
Hmm.
could have split it up. Like,
Yeah.
there's a way to book it where at least it's not just somebody running through and then you have them immediately lose to Becky
Yeah.
at Mania, and then you could have given Shayna the Money in the Bank and given her the women's title that year. There's
Very simple decisions there. And especially the fact that you had her run through the Elimination Chamber just to lose at Mania.
yeah,
Like, Becky, she didn't need the win then. I mean, she didn't. I tried to justify it a lot, like, oh yeah, she's Becky there, like,
and
but
Becky
no,
wanted to lose. Becky was like, "Hey, I'm okay with losing," and Vince was like,
yeah. And if that just yeah, if you're gonna book her Shayna to be that dominant, she has to go over. She
yeah,
has to. So I think that's crazy to think about. Like, I think that point is when it really like killed her career or push, or like nobody could take her serious after that, because like we're like you can run through 5 other women, but then you go against Becky and you lose. Like,
by a roll up, which you could have.
yeah, no, we can't take you serious anymore. So hopefully, I don't know what direction the PFC is going. I don't know what's gonna happen with that,
Are
but
they going to win the tag titles? Because I mean, and do a free
I,
bird
I
rule.
would.
I don't get it.
I don't either. Yeah, it's safe to say the women's division continues to struggle
Yes.
currently. So hopefully we get some relief from that. Maybe Asuka comes back soon. She usually I haven't even has she been tweeting or anything? Like,
I don't
have you seen it?
think so. I mean, I think because she did that tour of Japan earlier this year, and I
That's
think
right.
she had surgery or something.
I know she was recovering from her something. But yeah, I normally she's like pretty active on Twitter and things like that. So I don't know. But Oscar, we miss you. We hope you come back soon. I guess we can jump into some Raw too.
Yeah. Xavier Woods is
Oh,
angry.
that man, he's tripping, man. He's going up the deep end. So yeah, the new day. I'm holding tough. I think I'm hoping that this sets up for a Big E return.
Mm-hmm.
Um, soon. Well, I guess not soon. Maybe they can tease this New Day breakup for a while, because it's pretty entertaining. I will say, at least the
Yeah.
way that they're doing it. Like, Xavier's crashing out on everybody right now.
Just because he's never been a world champion or a
Yeah.
singles
So
title in general.
yeah, they're teasing it, man. So maybe we do get our Xavier singles run and he wins the championship. Hopefully as a member of the New Day still,
Yeah.
but who knows? But I did see something from an on Twitter from an interview, I guess, with Big E, who says he's gonna get more scans in a
Mm-hmm.
few months.
Yeah.
And like if they tell him like, oh, if everything's good, he's like, we can talk about potentially coming back. So
I hope so.
I'm gonna hope, yeah, man.
Or at least put him on like the commentary team.
Yeah,
It's like
something.
Joe and Wade are great, but like if you inject, and Michael Cole and Corey Graves are great, but if you inject a little bit more of that personality, then it'll like you'll have an A++ tier like commentary team. Like
Agree.
look at Booker and Vic. Like Vic's more the calm, kind of collected kind of guy, but he has his excited moments. And then you got Booker, who's just off the rails sometimes with some of the things he says. And we need somebody like that for Raw, because Joe and, like I said, Joe and Wade are great. They're awesome, but it's almost not monotone, but like barely like any shifts in the tone. Like every now and then, like
Yeah,
Joe will get excited, or Wade will, but you need kind of that third party that keep that energy up, and that'd be
agreed.
Big E.
Yeah, Biggie definitely would thrive in it. He would thrive honestly in anything they give him. But as a commentator, I think we would get some hilarious lines. Big meaty man slapping man
Yeah,
meat. Like
especially in
Tave's not. Yeah, Tave's
last
not here
monster
to.
standing match.
Yeah, yeah. Tave's not here to do
I
do
got
the. Oh man, yeah. So we need Biggie back in some capacity, whether that's commentating. Would really love him to come back in ring.
and then
Um,
like him commentating, it could like Woods and Kofi, like, they're arguing after a match, and Big E just like slides in and is like, no, we're not doing this. Come on, guys, get it
yeah.
together. Like, we're family,
Hmm.
we're brothers. Kind of like what they do with Drew and Wade whenever they have their
Yeah,
conversations.
yeah, exactly. And another thing, Wade has been teasing he's gonna get back in the ring soon.
Why can't
What do
he
you
even
think?
retire?
I can't even think. I can't even remember why either. I it was just it, and I don't even.
Let me pull it up.
Yeah, that was very random because he was on. It was right after he, had his bad news run and
Yeah,
revitalized his character and everything, and then it kind of just
just
randomly.
I remember when he was in League of Nations. Remember that?
Oh yes. Oh man,
He
that was bad.
he'd be on the outside like cheering and clapping, but he wouldn't really um get in the he retired. Of course, nothing,
It had to be due to some type of injury or some. I would assume, but
because he
don't.
after he got released from WWE, he went on the independent scene.
Right, right.
I mean, he's also in his like 40s.
In wrestling world, that's still young.
Yeah.
And that's crazy to think about.
Hold on, let me see. Why did Wade Barrett retire? Computer would slow. Why Wade Barrett retire? There we go. That's the first one. Let's see. Oh, he was ready to shift full focus to his wife and kids. So it's not even injuries. Like, it's not even
Oh,
a
so
major. He
he
just
okay. Well, that that makes sense why he's teasing a return then. Because yeah, I think Cole at one point said with I don't know, it had to be a couple weeks ago. He mentioned like, "Oh yeah, Wade's retired from in-ring competition." Or something like that, and Wade was like, "I'm not retired. Like, what are you talking about?" Like, so I would love to see Wade Barrett get back in the ring and bullhammer a few people. Um, so we'll see, man. I'll keep my fingers crossed on that.
like it's different than because like Corey Graves is retired, but he like his neck is just messed
Yeah,
up.
he had to. Yeah,
Wade,
and what? Yeah, he had to retire. Yeah, yeah, he had no choice. But he even I feel like at some point has teased to return to the ring, maybe, or maybe they set it up like that. But it will work out for Big E for sure. Similar to like when Samoa Joe was on commentary and he was having those issues with Seth Rollins and AOP at the time. So the it yeah they need Big E on commentary or back in some capacity.
yeah.
It would be funny if they brought him back and he was like a backstage interviewer. I think that would be freaking hilarious if they put him in that role and he'd just be running from person to person asking random questions like
Or if it's like he's like he can like you see two people like two of the bigger dudes get in an argument and you can just see him like in the background like
see man, that's gold. That's money right
make him
there.
an assistant general manager so he can just hear big meaty men slapping me.
Oh yeah, that would I need Big E back, man. Hopefully hopefully he gets everything clear from his scans and we'll see him back in the ring in some capacity or in WWE on I just need him on my screen.
Right.
Um
Speaking of general managers, do you think we're ever going to get a Nick Aldis name? What? Adam Pearce match? Oh, almost forgot his name.
I think so, man. That they might as well.
They might.
And I also thought it was like with Adam Pearce whenever he had that like basically feud with Roman
Mhm.
and he got put in that match. Um, yeah, they just made it seem like they're portraying him as like we know you can wrestle, Adam. Like
Right. And then they
I
just
just
gave the match to Kevin, and I'm like, Shinsuke was right there.
yeah
Like, we know
yeah
Shinsuke's going to lose. At least give him something.
exactly yeah. I don't know what their deal is with Shinsuke. They've been dropping the ball with him since he came to WWE. I mean, he did well in NXT,
Right.
but once he hit the main roster, it was downhill from there.
SummerSlam 2017 is when it started going
Oh
down.
yeah.
No offense to gender, but Shinsuke should have been WWE champion by now.
100%. 100%. He should actually have multiple at least 2 world title
At least
reigns.
two. The first Japanese WWE champion.
Yeah, it's there, and he's iconic. Like people, he has aura. So, and especially when they shifted him into this anime villain character,
Mm-hmm.
like that was so they should have done that a long time ago. It's like whenever he first turned heel again with AJ, that's when they should have, had him, as this true blue villain character
All right.
and just crashing out on everybody. So yeah, Shinsuke needs to come out of catering soon,
Yep.
but I don't see it happening, and it sucks because what are they gonna do with him?
I mean, even if you build him upright, like I feel like he would be a good opponent for LA Knight. I
Yeah,
feel like that would be a good match, and you can kind of build up on like a battle of different cultures, different styles, mind games that Shinsuke can play. Like, I know we don't want to see him as U.S. champion again, but at least it gives him something to do, and he's on a big stage.
yeah. That's the thing. We just need him. He needs to be on TV having matches at least, because he's so good. I just that always throws me off whenever they have really good performers, especially in ring, that they're not putting on TV for whatever reason.
Right.
I mean, I understand a creative direction, but you can put him in some matches just to have him go over a few times, just to let people know he's still there. Like,
Right.
we'll see though, man.
Plus,
I don't know.
I want to hear Kinshasa one more time.
Me too.
I
Me
need it.
too. Yeah. Well, another big shifting over to Raw, another big result is we have a new Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah.
Main event, Jey Uso. Give me a yee. It's all right. I know. Yeah, I know that Jay's not your favorite,
It's
but
it's not that I don't want to seem like I'm a Jay hater. I just, for some reason, his singles run is just always kind of rubbed me the wrong way, because it came out of like it came out of like Jimmy was injured,
mm,
and then he won that feud with. Oh no, he didn't win that. He won that Fatal 4-Way match to
for
become
to
number
be
one contender,
number
and
one.
I actually thought it was going to be Matt Riddle that was going to win it, because they were kind of teasing that. But then he does that, and it's just like he's a single star only, really, because his brother's out and with injury. He gets into the chamber, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's just it doesn't feel like natural, because you keep doing this flip flop thing with the Uso brothers, where I know I always bring this up as an example, but the Hardy Boys, they
Mm-hmm.
gradually did that split, or they won singles titles while they were together, but that split was like gradually. It wasn't just like, oh yeah, here we go, here you go, here's a split. Oh, you're
Yeah.
winning singles matches, and then I'm not gonna say it was equal because Jeff obviously got the better end of it, but at
Mhm.
least with Matt, it was like, okay, they gave Matt something, whether it was
Yeah.
the long European title reign. He's actually the longest. Fun fact: he's the longest American to hold the European title. He had the long,
There's our TCKO
yeah,
fun fact of the day.
yeah. They both held the hardcore title. Jeff was, going for the hardcore title. And then when they split, Matt won the cruiserweight title. But with Jimmy and Jay, yeah, Jay's more marketable, but that's because they kind of made him. They've given it all to Jay and nothing to Jimmy, and I don't think that's
Yeah, that's the tough thing with tag teams. Because we always know that one of them is not going to get the same love or push as the other. And I think that's why they haven't brought Jimmy back, because they're not sure what to exactly do with him.
yeah.
And whenever he came back after he went back to the bloodline for whatever reason,
Another
he
reason
did that.
why.
Yeah. After he came back and went back to the bloodline, like, he was gold, man. I loved what he added to the bloodline, and it was definitely underrated, and I don't feel like a lot of people really appreciated what he was adding to it. A lot of people probably just thought like, oh, he's just there, but no, his one-liners and just his reactions, his mannerisms, like,
And he was the fall guy of it. Like every
yeah,
time there was a tag
exactly.
match, Jimmy's taking the fall. They're trying to protect Solo. Roman's not doing it.
Yeah, so Jay having this single success would hit a little harder if Jimmy could come back and get the same success. And maybe they do. In a perfect world, Jimmy comes back, and I know this isn't going to happen, how it's going to go down, and he comes to Jay. They become cool. Maybe they set, or Jimmy goes to SmackDown, and they're like, okay, we're cool, but I'm not gonna associate with the bloodline anymore. Like, I'm like you, bro. I'm not doing that bloodline stuff anymore. I'm trying to focus on me. Maybe I can become United States champion over on SmackDown or something, and they shake up and go their separate ways. But if we got that visual, and then Jimmy went to SmackDown and had his single success, that would be amazing. But we know they're gonna get wrapped up into the bloodline war games. So, well, Jay, I don't know.
They'll probably somehow bring him into it. I
rope
mean,
him
I
back.
feel like
Yeah,
he can go into it as IC champ.
yeah, probably. Yeah, I'm sure Sammy will be the one to convince him, to help out. But I don't know. Oh, a good question. Because I've been seeing this going around. Do we think, or is Jay considered the Jeff Hardy of this generation or this era?
Oh, I thought you were going to say of the Usos.
Well, yeah, he is. We know that, but I'm saying, like, is he considered the Jeff? I don't know. I saw that question. I was like, dang, he might be, because the crowd loves him. Like, he's so over, man.
I saw that tweet, and then I saw somebody quoted it, and they said Jay's popular, but Jeff Hardy was on a whole nother level. Jeff Hardy was just as popular as Obama was in '08.
Yeah, you're
So
right.
it's like, no offense, he's good, but he's not like Jeff Hardy. Jeff, we knew he was gonna win the WWE title, and it just felt like that moment was fantastic. It was great. It was uplifting. If Jay won the World Heavyweight title, I know you and Jay would be cool with it. I'd be like, no. I'd be like, please, no. No, it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't seem like it fits.
Hey, I will have to see what he does with his IC title reign. I don't think it's going to be a very long one, of course.
Right.
Maybe Braun wins it back at some point.
At this point, I don't even
So you
No,
think this killed
yeah.
Braun's momentum?
Honestly, it didn't kill him, but it's just like because we talked about it in the group chat where it's like
Yeah.
we already have like Tay was like, Braun can just go around destroying people, and I'm like, that's literally what Bronson Reed does. So now we're gonna have just two guys doing that, and it doesn't feel the same when two guys are doing that. Really, we would have three because then you have Braun Strowman doing it too with Bronson Reed. So it takes away from it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what they do following him losing this championship. What was it? How many days was it?
50.
50? Yeah, I was gonna say. I don't think he's buried like we were saying, or Tay was saying in the group chat, like he's still young, like he's very young as far as WWE standards go. Like he can bounce back from this. How they're gonna do it, I don't know. I can't tell you. But taking a clean loss like that, it's not a good look. But they kind of put themselves into a corner once again because really Jay couldn't lose this time. If he lost this time, then I would probably never thought he would have won a singles championship. So
Or they could have had a dirty finish where and then it lead into Survivor Series slowly, where Solo or whoever just like cheats him out of it, and that's what I was kind of like
yeah,
expecting, or even Jimmy, like
Jimmy coming back and yeah,
or Dom. You could have Dom do it
oh yeah,
because of that could have led into that. But I mean, it's whatever. I saw somebody fantasy book that Dom beats Jay for the title.
while you were mentioning Dom, that thought came into my head too. Um, because they have the dynamic there with Jay and Rhea now. And Dom was in the IC championship tournament and everything. So, and if they keep the title on Liv, they're probably going to want to put gold back on Dom at some point, like when he was North American champion for that period of time.
Right.
I can see that, honestly. I can see it happening. Especially if Judgment Day or Finn and JD keep the World Tag Team Championships. Maybe Dom does get the IC title.
Maybe. Bring back the hardcore title for Carlito.
There you go. Or 24/7. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
We'll just call it the Extreme. Karrion Kross like, yo, look, can we get like an Extreme Rules title? I was like, I like that.
Yeah, I like that too. Yeah, bring something back to not the 24/7 championship. That was even Mick Foley couldn't sell that to us. So yeah, hopefully we'll see though, man. I don't know. But Jey Uso, I'm excited, man. I still think he will be a world champion, and I still think what is today? Mark my words.
September
Today
28th.
is Saturday, September 28th. It's currently 10:52 a.m. Jey Uso will defeat Gunther and be the next world heavyweight champion. I'm calling it. I still wholeheartedly believe that Jey Uso will be the one to dethrone Gunther. When? I don't know. I can't tell you that, but I really feel like they're gonna pull the trigger and give him a world championship. The Jeff Hardy rumblings are there. They're comparing. They're gonna do it, bro. They're gonna do it. and when it happens, I'm just gonna smile and say yeet. That's it. Will it make you? Will it? Go ahead.
I was
Go
going to say
ahead.
another fun fact. Jey Uso has now joined Jey Uso and Rikishi have now joined Mr. Perfect and Curtis Axel as the only father and sons to win the Intercontinental Championship.
That's another great fun fact. That's true. That's true. Hopefully Jay's run doesn't turn into Curtis Axel's run.
I mean, the worst thing, and I can't believe I'm saying this, the worst thing they did with Curtis Axel was put him with Paul Heyman. Because you have all that pressure on being a Paul Heyman guy.
Yeah.
You kind of make him take a back seat to the CM Punk Paul Heyman feud. Then you throw in Ryback, Ryback is now taking the front seat because Brock Lesnar's gone. And then Curtis Axel's like, yeah, I'm here too. Like, I got your back, Paul. And then, like, what was that? Night of Champions 2013. They originally didn't even have an Intercontinental title match scheduled. They just give him a match against Kofi. And then they're like, oh, yeah, and you still have that 2-on-3 handicap elimination match tonight.
Yeah.
And it's like, why? And then he just loses it to Big E because Dean Ambrose gets hurt. So it's just like, what are we doing here?
Yeah,
like, that's one of the worst things. Like, and that's kind of weird to say, but that's happened to a lot of Paul Heyman guys. Cesaro.
Oh, yeah, he was a Paul Heyman guy for a second, hot second.
It didn't benefit Cesaro. It didn't benefit Ryback. Didn't benefit Curtis Axel. The only, like, it really benefited the big guys that, like, you knew were going to be stars.
Maybe.
Not even A-Train, too. That didn't help him.
Oh, yeah.
He was
no, not at all.
Technically a Paul Heyman guy. Matt Morgan, Nathan Jones.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of guys that just did not. Paul Heyman's like, if Paul Heyman can't help you get over, then you just you just can't.
One thing that I think, if Brian Breaker became a Paul Heyman guy, that would help him, bring him. Yeah,
it would. But at the same time, with Paul Heyman in the bloodline, Paul Heyman's turning face. You're not turning Braun Breaker face.
I did see that they might be doing. I think that, or they saw something that this is setting up for a big baby face turn for Braun. That's what I saw that. I don't know how true it is, but how they go about it or how they justify it, I don't know, because this man has been a menace for the last few months. Yeah. So I don't know how they're gonna justify it, how they're gonna do it. But maybe they do that, and how they remove Paul Heyman from the bloodline to pair him with Brian. I don't know how they do that either, but I would like to see that. I think them together would be money.
You gotta keep him a heel though. Like, he works. Like, after watching his NXT run, like, yeah, he was good as a face, but as a heel, it just feels more natural.
I was gonna say he's a Steiner, so it definitely feels more natural for him to be a heel. I don't know, man, but I just hope that they don't bury him at this point. It's kind of hard to bury somebody like him. Yeah, I don't think he would even allow them to do that.
No, it's just more along the lines that they just took the title off him too soon.
Yeah,
and that's
especially
my biggest gripe.
Like you mentioned, like, after we wait, if they were gonna do this, then he should have just won at Money in the Bank, instead of SummerSlam. So I don't know. We'll see what they do with that. Another thing that's interesting to me, and this might be, I don't know why I feel like this, but I can really see this happening. This feud between Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed. What if they end up becoming a tag team?
And that kind of books it into a corner of who's going to take if they do that and become tag team champions. Who is going to take the tag team titles off of them?
But I would like to see that, though. I think they could help legitimize those titles, because anybody you throw against them, they're gonna squash pretty much. And it's similar to the Kane and Big Show dynamic. You know, I forget who was it Lance Cade and Trevor Murdoch that beat them?
It was the Spirit Squad.
Spirits. Oh yeah,
it was the Spirit Squad.
Yeah, it was.
Because they lifted Big Show. Because I remember I missed that Raw, so I had to watch the replay of it. It was the day after WrestleMania. They lifted up the Big Show and slammed to the ground, and then Kenny did the leg drop. And then the Spirit Squad held it for forever, it felt like, and then lost to Ric Flair and Roddy Piper.
And that Spirit Squad time was so weird. I remember Kenny eventually had a championship match against John Cena, and I remember vividly watching him hit that leg drop, and I'm like, there's no way they're about to do this. Like, and we were kids at the time, so we didn't understand, the entire dynamic of, wrestling and how they do it. But for that, they're invoking emotion. Like, I really, for a split second, I was like, he's gonna win. Like, what? Like, not Kenny.
And Dolph Ziggler is the one that had the best career out of all of them.
And that's crazy too. That's crazy to think about. Yeah. I thought the Spirit Squad was entertaining. They were annoying, but I
Okay.
enjoyed them.
One of them would scoot around like a dog. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, what are you doing? What?
And the fact that, they were Vince's hired hands, like you hired a bunch of male cheerleaders to be her muscle.
He did it because he thought it was funny, dude. He's like, male cheerleaders, that's hilarious. Like, what?
And they're in these marquee feuds at these big pay-per-views going against DX and stuff. And I'm just like, what? Like, what is going on right now?
They made
It's
him
just
in
so
a
funny.
pay-per-view, too. I just
Yeah, they did. They did.
Vengeance. That had RVD versus Edge.
Oh man, that's hilarious, man. The Spirit Squad. Shout out to the Spirit Squad. Well, we know where Nick Nemeth is, but wherever the rest of the Spirit Squad is currently, shout out to you guys. Some very good memories from your run in WWE. Yeah, they did beat Kane and Big Show, but I wouldn't be mad. I have this feeling that Braun and Bronson are gonna end up teaming up after this feud and be like, oh, you're a monster, I'm a monster. It makes sense. Let's just be monsters together.
I don't know who I want to win for the tag team titles off of I wanted it to be the Lucha Bros, but now one of them can't get out of his contract for a bit because of injuries, because you know who is just, he's something.
He's something for sure. I have a few words that I can call him, but I don't think they're kid friendly.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't even think that's PG.
I miss R-Truth.
I do too, bro.
That reminds me, they wouldn't turn, because you have to have Seth come back and figure out his stuff.
Yeah, he's gonna go at Bronson whenever he comes back. So,
well, if you do that to R-Truth, you can't be a good guy.
No, you can't. You can't. So
R-Truth
another
is
thing,
a national treasure.
Yeah, he is. He is. I do miss the longest reigning 24/7 7-Eleven I-95 South and Detroit or European TV champion. The first time he said that, I was on the floor, man. I'm like, this dude is crazy. Like, how can you not love R-Truth?
Oh, bro.
Like, he made Brock Lesnar break character.
And you that's impressive to do that. Like,
yeah.
Because Brock is like, yo, I like this guy. Like, he can still give him an F5, but it's like, he's like, I like this guy. He's so
yeah. Yeah, that one of those that's probably one of my favorite Brock Lesnar moments, sad to say. Cuz he doesn't have a lot of moments outside of like being in the ring. Mm-hmm. So yeah. I want R-Truth back.
We need him back. Do you think Miz is gonna turn heel on R-Truth when he comes back?
Of course. That's what the Miz does. You know, he doesn't stay friends with people for too long. But
how many times did he turn on John Morrison? Like,
it's every time. Every time they get back, he's always the one that turns. You would think after John came back the most recent time, he would be like, "No, bro, I'm not kicking it with you. Like, no, we're not friends. You remember what happened last time? No." I do think that the Miz and Karrion dynamic is going to be interesting what they do there. It seems like they're going to bring back Serious Miz. And I can't be mad at that because Serious Miz he's really good.
Main event at WrestleMania.
He main evented WrestleMania. That's still crazy to say to this day. And they kind of did him dirty because it really wasn't even, he was the afterthought there, even though he won.
It's like Jericho, when Jericho was WWE champion, he was an afterthought in the main event of WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Triple H Stephanie McMahon feud, and that's why it was like Miz versus or Rock versus Cena feud featuring the
Yep.
Miz.
Yep. So we'll see. I think maybe we see Serious Miz come back, and maybe he's the one that beats Jay for the IC championship.
I would give him 9.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that either. So
And then give him. I figured there was like a way that like I worked out a while ago where like Miz could have had 10, especially if you want to get back at Chris Jericho. I forgot what it was, but it wasn't during. It was like before Gunther. I forgot what it was, but there was a way where I was like, yo, Miz could have easily had 10 by now.
he could have, and he should have. But we'll see what they do with him. Him and Karrion, their dynamic is interesting right now. So I mean, Raw is definitely the more entertaining show at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like a lot more surprised with Jay winning the championship, and then this Sammy and Gunther, whatever they got going on. Gunther's just being a troll.
Mm-hmm. Frankie came out in his whole gear.
He did Sammy so dirty.
I was like, are we really getting this match now?
No. Oh man, that's funny. Another thing that's kind of interesting is the decision of who's going to main event Bad Blood. We talked about it a little bit last week, but there's been some dispute on whether it should be CM Punk and Drew McIntyre or the tag match with Roman and Cody.
It needs to be Punk McIntyre.
Yeah,
it needs.
I think so too.
Especially because you're taking away Dom in a shark cage. Pisses me off.
Oh yeah, that we have to talk about how that
pisses me off because why? We had everything perfect. Instead of putting him in the cage, because you know he's going to find a way out, put them in a cell, let them beat the crap out of each other, and then have Dom sneak his way in. Because, like, I get it. Dom's the prisoner. Like, put him in a cage. Keep him out of the cage and show them what it feels like. It's so stupid. I'm getting WWE. I'm getting 2K24 because it's going to be free for PlayStation Plus users. I'm rebooking Bad Blood because I'm renaming the pay-per-view, but it's going to be the same kind of themes. But I'm rebooking it because it needs to be Rhea, Liv, Hell in a Cell. What? You now have to hang the cell, then find the way to get the shark cage.
That's how are they gonna?
Like they can do it because they've had a TLC match and a Hell in a Cell match at the same time. But still, the logistics of it makes no sense.
Yeah, they're making their jobs a lot harder to pull this off instead of just having the Hell in a Cell there for Rhea and Liv. Yeah, and it's so funny. I know Tay did say it too, and I feel like I teased about it too, like, oh, put Dom in a shark cage, like, and we laughed it off. And the fact that it's happening, it just shows how well we know this company. Like, because why? When's the last? Was it Jericho in the shark cage? Was that the last one that we had?
I think so. It was either Jericho or Enzo.
Oh yeah, and it was one of them. But yeah, what
shark cage matches are stupid. This isn't the 98.
No, there's so many other stipulations they could have done. This should not have been it.
The only thing I can think of is that they're gonna like put him like one of those like the War Games cages that they have, like where they're like other people waiting. I feel like that's where they're gonna put him in, and he's still gonna get out. Like,
oh yeah, Liv's gonna pull the key out of her boot or something and throw it up to him, and he's gonna get out. So I don't know, but we'll see. We'll get into that next week with our predictions for Bad Blood. But yeah, that was another strange thing from Raw, and it was funny whenever you messaged us, you were like, in a shark cage, really? Really? Yep,
And I was
it's
just like,
really
bro,
happening.
because I saw that on Twitter like right before Raw went on the air, and I was like, no, no, no. And then Rhea announced it, and of course the fans are like, oh, and I'm just like, why? Is it
Why are
because
you
Rhea said
excited?
it?
Yeah, that's all it is. It's just because Rhea said it. That's it. It is very stupid.
I
I
feel like Rhea
agree
would
with
be
you.
like, yeah, I would have loved to do a Hell in a Cell match, and I feel like Liv would. They won't be down for it because
They
they've
would
done
be.
chamber matches. They could easily do a Hell in a Cell match, but
The
Hunter, I know
powers
you
that
want to
be.
protect Hell in a Cell because it's important to you, but come on, two of them in one night won't kill it if there's a reason for it. Like, yeah, we've had them in the past where like you didn't really need the cell. Like the first couple of years, Hell in a Cell was a pay per view. With what? Mark Henry and Randy and Sheamus, that weird triple threat with Alberto Del Rio, but
And we had Undertaker. Was that at Undertaker and Punk? Wasn't that at Hell in a Cell
yeah, that
too?
was the first one.
Yeah.
But that makes sense because of the Undertaker. Like,
Yeah.
at least in that case, it makes sense. But like Sheamus and Randy,
Yeah.
okay, like
There's
fine.
not a lot of bad blood there. They're not.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So you could have had it. Well, I guess not opening match, like second match.
Well, I think they could have easily had Rhea and Liv open with Hell in a Cell and then close with Hell in a Cell.
I feel like with Roman though, Roman either wants to go on first or last.
Yeah, and you
He's not.
mentioned that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like that way you get the crowd. I would probably put it in the middle, and that's why we kind of need some more matches for these pay per views because you could have Roman and the tag match open up. Maybe you could add Andrade Mello second, then Hell in a Cell. Then another match, you could have maybe had Jay defend the IC title.
Mm-hmm.
Another match after that, and then end with Hell in a Cell. And it's a perfect like 3-part like story of excitement. You're kind of mellowing out the excitement. Triple H is like, no, one Hell in a Cell match is fine. Killing me.
On a pay-per-view called Bad Blood, and you have a lot of great feuds going on in Bad Blood, to only have 5 matches is criminal.
Exactly.
Honestly, because you easily could have had the last Monster Standing match at Bad Blood.
I feel like with that one's okay because you don't want to add too many extreme stipulations to like
yeah.
I feel like 2 Hell in a Cells is fine, and then at least give somebody like something excited to look at for Raw.
Yeah,
and I feel like with the way
you're right.
that last Monster Standing match, they're going to do the Superplex spot.
Oh yeah, they've been teasing it for the past few weeks. So yeah, they'll definitely do it. The ring will implode, and everybody's gonna freak out like they've never seen it before. Well, it can't be mad. I'm not mad at it though, but it's just funny how they do that. Like
we've seen it 3 times, and it's always been Big Show, and now
yeah.
this will be the first time without Big Show.
Yeah. So I don't know.
And I mean, they've even had a match after, which they did. It was the Vengeance pay per view when Mark Henry was world champion, and they had the match. They did the Superplex spot, and then you have an entire match afterwards.
Yeah.
With the mess up ring. And if I was seeing it, like, yo, how are we supposed to do this? Like, how? Like, I can't run the ropes. I can't do like half the stuff I usually do. What am I supposed to do with this? And they're like, okay, good luck.
You'll figure it out.
You got it, John.
Yeah, you're great. You're one of the goats.
You're
got
one
it.
of the goats. You got this. No, I get that, but like, how am I supposed to do this?
Yeah,
This is
you're right.
dangerous.
But literally, if I, it's kind of like reflex to go off of the ropes.
Right.
If I fall through and if I go to run the rope and there's no rope there, I'm gonna fall.
Well, just don't do that. What do you mean?
Yeah, just you know what this sport is. You know what we're supposed to go in here and do, right?
Right.
Yeah, but you're good. You'll figure it out.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're right. I'm gonna get it, but John.
But how?
John,
help me
understand what you want from me.
What do you want this to look like? Like, paint this scenario for me.
It's a last man standing match, bro. I can barely stand in that ring right now.
You know the ring is crooked, right?
It's destroyed. Like, this is like a high school wrestling match.
You know, this is a liability right here. Like, I don't think we should do this.
If I hit him with an AA, he's gonna already be out the ring at this point. Like, what do you, John? It's okay. You got it.
Yeah, another funny thing with SummerSlam, I always get it mixed up. 22 or 23 when Brock and Roman had their last man standing match, and Brock flipped the ring up with that tractor. The way Roman falls out of the ring, it's so hilarious because he over exaggerates it. So you can tell he's overselling it because he just rolls like he's dead weight, just rolling out of the ring, and I crack up anytime I see that. And I was there live, and I was dying laughing. Everybody else is just like, "Oh my god!" And I'm just like, "Look at the way this man fell out the ring. Like, he's not serious, man."
That one made sense because it's the last match of the night. You can mess up the ring, but
we can mess up the ring then because we don't have anybody coming in afterwards.
right.
So, oh man, that's funny. That's funny.
That was a good one. I kind of wish I could have gone to that.
Yeah, but we're going to Rumble in January. So.
Well, it's whenever tickets go on sale. I have no.
Oh yeah. I feel like they should do. They usually drop them around or after Survivor Series. No,
Okay.
And yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, they start putting them on sale a little bit after Survivor Series. So probably around November we'll see the at least pre-sale tickets will probably go out, but we'll see, man. Yeah, next week we'll do Bad Blood predictions, and then I think we'll get into the nitty-gritty there. But yeah, I think this is a good segue to end it for today. Do you have any last thought about anything about the landscape? Oh, we didn't talk any NXT. Is there anything noteworthy from NXT that we want to discuss?
Stephanie is
yeah.
coming. You know, she's coming for the winner of Roxanne and Julia. It's always good to see my boy Funaki. I love Funaki.
Oh yeah.
I'm a Funaki fan.
Funaki is another national treasure.
Smackdown #1. Like, I saw Funaki. I was like, it's
yeah.
Hey, bro. That Wesley, Zach Wentz feud is that promo, like that little argument, that like you could tell it was like it was scripted, but it felt real.
Yeah, it did. They definitely took their notes from Seth and Matt Riddle, and they hit it out the park. So
it's just like, but like with that, like if you're like a person that doesn't understand wrestling, you're like, how would they know exactly where each other's at to meet up perfectly for
yeah.
It's like they both took the right turn and just like walked and met like right.
Yeah, that's the beauty of wrestling. Like, for people who don't understand how it works, the questions that like my wife, she asks me all types of questions like how does that work? Like, whenever Paul Heyman got put through the announce table, she's like, they can't do that. Like, well, why are they doing this to this man? He's not gonna survive this. So just
you haven't seen half the stuff Paul Heyman's taken.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying. This man created ECW. He's good.
He's gotten an F5 before. So that's a dangerous move to take.
It is. But yeah, we'll see what else happens or what's going to transpire with Roxanne and Julia.
Well, we can. Who do you think's going to win that NXT title match, Trick or Ethan Page? Okay, that's Tuesday.
That's tough to say. Punk's the special guest rep, so, but we know Drew's probably gonna interfere.
Yeah.
And take him out. So I don't know, man. I
want Trick to win it back.
I do want Trick to win it back, but I don't think he is. I think he gets caught up in Drew taking out CM Punk somehow, and Ethan Page takes advantage. Is my guess, but you never know, man. They might put it back on Trick. I hope they do, but it's tough to say, man. Do you think Trick's gonna win it back?
I don't. I feel like they're gonna have Julia win her match. You
Mhm.
really can't have like two. Like it's very rare for like two big moments to like happen at the same time for a show. So I don't know. I feel like Ethan Page is gonna win it. Because even Pete Dunne might come out and try
Oh
to
yeah.
cheat Trick out. I'm trying to remember all the matches that are even happening that night because it's that match. I really hope they don't give Tony D'Angelo the North American title. I think that's the one in St. Louis.
Yeah.
But because I like Obafemi and I want Obafemi to be the longest reigning North American champion.
Yeah. How many days does he have left until he is? It's not too long because he did a video in his car and was mentioning it, but I can't remember the number.
Let's see, the current longest reign is Wesley at 269 days. Obafemi won it in January. Femi, literally a week from tomorrow, he has the longest reign.
Oh, so they can't take it off of him.
Yeah, he's at 262 right now. So he's at 262 right now. This Tuesday he'll make it. I don't know math. 30th.
Don't ask me, bro.
Yeah. So if he holds it until 6, he'll have it because at that point it'll be in St. Louis. Because I think that's what he's defending it. He'll already surpass it.
Yeah.
So
Well,
they might
hopefully.
actually. They might.
Oh, yeah. They might. Yeah.
That
That
that's
might
what they did with
be
Nikki Bella when she was the Divas champ. They had her hold it.
as long as because I think Oba's ready for the main roster.
I wanted to win the NXT title before.
I would like to see that too, but I wouldn't be mad if they just jumped him straight to the main roster. Too, but I mean, yeah, we know how that formula goes. When he does, he'll have like 4 weeks straight of squash matches before they give him a real feud. So
Yeah. Unless he takes it from Jay, I wouldn't be mad about that.
I wouldn't be mad at that either. You know, keep he's been champion for a good minute. Like it makes sense for him to jump in there. You know, he can destroy Jay and win another championship. So I definitely would not be mad at that. So as long as Oba gets the longest reigning North American champion record, I'm good with him losing it after that.
I think what they're going to do is this Tuesday, the one in Chicago, they're going to have Julia win and Ethan win, and then the week after that, have Tony D'Angelo win and Fraxium win, and then have the Motor City Machine Guns debut that night. Which is awesome because even though I still need to buy my ticket, I'll be there to see one of my favorite tag teams.
That's exciting, man. Yeah, that's gonna be dope.
It will be. So
For sure.
I'm excited.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, I guess we'll call that a wrap. We talked a little bit of everything. We'll get into those bad blood predictions next week. Cameron, do you have any other questions, comments, concerns?
Directed towards you, right?
Not directed towards me.
Nah, man. I'm just still mad about Rhea and Liv, their situation. Give Nakamura a chance. And I'm kind of ready for Jay to lose the Intercontinental title. That's just me. Sorry. No hate on Jay. It just doesn't feel right.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I feel you. My last takeaways, I hope piggybacking off of Jay, I hope Jimmy comes back and they give him some single success. I still don't know how I feel about Roman and Cody tagging or what that match is going to look like. It's very, very strange. And then, man, team up the monsters. I want to see Brian and Bronson become a tag team. We need new tag teams. Why? It's right there. In these two guys, it would make sense for them to have this feud and then, become, we can just destroy everybody. afterwards, but they may not do that. So
I kind of know. I kind of hope they don't. It's too convenient. And it
yeah,
kind of also is another thing where they kind of book themselves in the corner. Like, who can believably beat these guys?
beat them. Yeah. Well, we'll see. But next week, got a good show for you. With the Bad Blood predictions, I'm sure Tay will have some hot takes to give us as well when he comes back.
He always does.
Yeah, and some mugs and all of that. So,
Yeah.
yeah, Cameron, let them know where they can find us on socials and all that good stuff.
Find us on socials, 2 Count Kickout, YouTube. Obviously, you're already here, so you already know. Tell your friends, your family, your friendly neighborhood hobos. Tell everybody. It's your favorite podcast, not just your favorite wrestling podcast. It's your favorite podcast. It's not a question. It's a statement.
It's a statement.
We're your
There you
favorite.
go. I love that. I love that. Oh, one last thing, not wrestling related, but because of the impact in the world that it's caused, D Rose retired this week.
Dude.
Not wrestling, so just bear with us. But it's a very sad moment.
That broke my heart.
I think it broke everybody's heart.
He's a big reason I'm a Bulls fan.
Mm-hmm.
He is either my second or third favorite Chicago Bull of all time. Him and Scotty go back and forth, kind of, because Scotty be saying some wild stuff. I'm like, Scotty got knocked down a peg.
Yeah.
Actually, D Rose's jersey was the first jersey I ever bought. I have it hanging in my room right now. But yeah, I'm sad. Hope he gets into the Hall of Fame.
He should, man.
Should, but
he definitely should. Youngest MVP. Gosh, he never got his ring, unfortunately. But
that hurts.
That does hurt. Unfortunately, like the biggest, I think D Rose, when he got hurt, like I think that's the first time he got hurt. I think that's one of those, you remember where you were when that happened. And I literally remember, and I was sitting in the living room. I wasn't on the couch. I was on the floor, and I was really close to the TV because, everybody loves D Rose. It's like you can't be a basketball fan and say you didn't like D Rose.
Right.
And I was thinking, I was like, why is he still in the game? And they're clearly about to win. Like, it's the playoffs. Tom, what are you doing? And he goes down, and in that moment, you're not thinking like this is gonna change this man's entire career. But like it did, and it's very very unfortunate. Yep. Very unfortunate how it all turned out, but we got some great memories, great moments. Even his 50-point game on the Timberwolves, that was very, very emotional moment. So
my go-to D Rose moment is the shot.
Oh yeah, against Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's a historic moment. Crazy, man, crazy. So sad to see D Rose go. And that just means we're getting old, man.
Yeah.
That hits different whenever your favorites you're growing up watching start retiring. Like, RIP to Kobe. That one hit me like pretty hard because everybody loves. Well, not everybody loved Kobe at the time whenever he was hooping, but
after the fact,
like, yeah, that one hurt. So this. That hurts the same. Well, not the same, but it's still like we're
piece of our
losing
childhood died.
Yeah, like it sucks, but everybody can't play forever. So shout out to D Rose, man. Well wishes to his future endeavors, whatever that may be. But that's gonna be weird not seeing you on the court anymore ever again. So, but yeah. We'll unfortunately I just had to bring that up.
I get it, bro. I get it.
Because that's big, man. That was a big moment. Despite this being a wrestling podcast, it's still, sports and entertainment. So we cover it all if it's big news. So
also, speaking of entertainment, the lady who played Professor McGonagall in the Harry Potter films,
oh,
Dame Maggie Smith, R.I.P.
She did. R.I.P. we're
Two-time
losing a
Oscar
lot of
winner.
great. Yeah, we
That's
lost James Earl Jones not too long ago too.
no. I said, what the
Yeah,
bleep? It's like,
I
what?
was like, no way, not Mufasa, not
What?
Vader.
Not Vader?
No, it can't be, man.
No.
So yeah, man, we gotta give our legends their flowers while they're still here with us, all of them. So
Yeah.
that's why we try and be positive with a lot of things when we're talking about these wrestlers. We're never, shooting them down, because we know majority of the time it's not their fault. They're
Right.
being booked the way that they are, so
Yeah. Like even
gotta
when
give
we, rag on, like we say, hey, we respect like Zoe Stark.
yeah,
Or I don't like Andrade. I respect Andrade, but I don't like him. But I still don't try to tear him down.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, gotta give folks their flowers while they're still here. Is the end result of this this back and forth here. So we'll call it quits there. Join us next week. Bad Blood predictions and maybe some more surprises.
Maybe. And then
we'll see.
And then we got the Bad Blood review show.
Yep.
And then fingers crossed, Quiz Cam show.
Quiz Cam show. So definitely stay tuned for those. And like Cam said, we're your favorite podcast.
Yeah.
You may not know it, but
you're gonna learn.
You're gonna learn today. All right. So we are the 2 Count Kickout podcast, and we are out.